New data shows inflation is slowing down in the United States. The Consumer Price Index shows prices 4.9% higher in April compared to a year ago. That's slightly better than expectations and the smallest 12-month increase since April 2021. Chief Business Correspondent Rebecca Jarvis joins me live now for more on that. Rebecca, break down these key numbers for us.
Sure, Diane. So where you really are seeing numbers coming down here is in areas like oil prices. Gasoline prices are down dramatically from a year ago. We're now paying about $3.53 on average at the pump. A year ago, it was $4.33. And while the numbers are definitely improving, they're still elevated. So if you look at what we were at last summer, prices were up about 9% in June, now being up 4.9% overall. That's a significant decrease from where we were, but still elevated from what the Fed wants to see. But the good news here, if you've been hearing about these Federal Reserve rate hikes, we've seen now 10 of them in a row. It gets more expensive to borrow each time they do that. It seems that these are starting to work. And at the same time, while they're driving inflation lower, we have not seen cracks in the jobs market yet. Overall, just last month, and this data came out last Friday, overall, we're still seeing job creation that's consistent with a growing economy.
So what could this mean for future interest rate hikes by the Federal Reserve?
Well, it's an interesting question because the Fed at the last Fed meeting signaled that they might be willing to pause with these rate hikes. The question is, are they going to look at this report and say inflation is still elevated and it's kind of plateaued, or are they going to look at it as a sign of let's just see how these rate hikes ripple through the system? Because even when the Federal Reserve hikes interest rates to drive inflation lower, it's not an immediate thing. You don't necessarily see it immediately, although people are starting to see some of these better prices, not perfect, but better prices at the grocery store, for example. Diane, we saw the price of milk come down. We're starting to see the cost of eggs and chicken and other meats coming down. They're still higher than they were a year ago, but they're getting lower than they were a few months ago.
And Rebecca, what do these numbers do for fears of a recession?
You know, the economy has been, in a word, kind of weird. And there have been these calls. Analysts have looked at where we are for months and called for a recession, and yet it still hasn't materialized. Consumers continue to spend money despite the fact that prices are climbing, despite the fact that their credit cards are becoming more expensive. So a lot of the recession fears remain, Diane. They are on the horizon. They're not tomorrow, but they're somewhere in the later half of this year, and a lot of that is tied to the jobs market, which, while it remains strong today, if you look at the overall numbers, we've been hearing more and more about layoffs in various industries. And if that becomes more widespread, that's where the recession fears really take hold. And it's just a reminder to be smart about your money, pay down your credit card debt if you're in a position to do so, conserve what you can.
All right, Rebecca Jarvis, always great to have you. Rebecca, thank you.
Thanks, Diane.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.